Hi everyone, my name is Daniel. Today I'm going to tell you about 5 beginner mistakes that most people make when they start photography. My first tip for beginners is don't post your photos in bulk and make sure you post frequently. You don't have to post every day. I know a lot of people will say that, but that can be hard if you have a lot going on, like other jobs, if you're working full-time or doing school or anything. It can be tough. But I do recommend posting somewhat frequently. Most of my business that I've ever gotten comes from the most recent photos that I've put out. That's how I've been able to make money doing photography. Posting frequently will allow you to have more of a reach due to the algorithm and how it works. If you post all at once, the people who do follow you will see your bulk of 10 photos that you posted at once, and that can be really annoying, and you might get a lot of people unfollowing you because you're just clogging up their feed basically. Mistake number 2, not investing more into your gear. When I bought my first camera, it came with a starter bundle, and that included like a memory card, a tripod, and like a camera bag. I've replaced every single one of these items because they were all made really badly. They're all cheap, and my tripod is made of like plastic and it broke apart. The memory card was very kind of outdated. I upgraded from like the 48 I think megabytes per second to the 96 or 95, and that I couldn't believe the small difference that made in shooting. Even the camera bag was like just so inconvenient and cumbersome to bring around. I just really recommend, like, if you're buying gear and you're doing stuff, spend a little money, especially if you're first starting out. Most of the price difference, I'm not saying you need to go buy out straight $1,000 pieces of gear right away, but if you're starting out and you're spending like 40 bucks on stuff, that can be okay, but I recommend just putting an extra 20 or 40 bucks and buying the next stage up. That way, at least when you have the items, they're going to last for a lot longer and they're not going to fail you. So just spending that little bit more money on a piece of gear can help you out so much, and you're using most of these items every time you shoot. You don't think about it, but like a tripod, if you're using it a lot, you're using it every shoot, so you want something kind of nice. Memory card, you use that every single time you shoot as well. Like small things like that, putting a little investment into the smaller things will really help you photography experience, and you'll enjoy it more too. And if you need to like save that little bit, just kind of like eat a salad when you go out next time or something. Just do something cheaper, just stay home once, and then that'll make up your money. I know it's hard, it can be hard when you're first starting out because you're not getting your business from photography, but it's worth it in the long run, because you could spend 40 bucks on gear, but it could just be really cheap and useless, and then you'll end up spending more money on an upgrade piece of gear anyways. So if you spend more money anyways, you might as well just blow the extra 20 bucks, and instead of like 40 bucks and buying some for 80 bucks, you're just spending the 80 bucks instead of 120 bucks by buying both and wasting your money. Beginner mistake number 3. This one is I was really guilty of a lot when I first started. It was having a fix it and post mindset. Beginners especially, like you might just start using Photoshop and you really overestimate yourself. Photoshop can be really hard to use when you're first starting out. There's a lot to know, and it can be very cumbersome to get through it, and something that's small that could have taken you a minute, like moving a hair or your person just slightly out of position, you just say, oh, I'll fix it in post. That could be 30 minutes in post-production that you don't think about in Photoshop, because it could take 15 seconds to move the hair, but it could take you 30 minutes to go through the tools, separate layers, and everything else that you do in Photoshop just to make the image right. And you don't want to deal with that. It's saving your time. Like, it increases your workflow, and you really want to be productive about that, because it shouldn't take you 3 hours to do so many photos. I've done this, and I've been very guilty of it. I had this photo here where I thought it looked great, and like it was one of my favorite photos from the set, but then I noticed all the hair was on her arm, and I didn't make the time to move it out of the way. I didn't notice it, honestly, but if I would have paid more attention and spent the extra 15 seconds to fix that hair, I wouldn't have had to go into Photoshop and spend quite literally 45 minutes trying to make the hair go away from this arm. That is the longest thing I've ever done in Photoshop, to just try to get one image fixed. And that was including the editing. It was just the arm. So I really recommend just be more aware of your surroundings when you're shooting, and that can help you out so much and save you so much time in post. Tip number 4, when you're shooting, take a small step back. A lot of the times what I've done is I've taken a photo, and when I look at it, it looks like perfectly framed. But then you realize if you're posting Instagram, you want that 4x5. So instead of something like this, you're going like this. And if you're right on it perfect, you're gonna crop something out, whether it be a wrist, a leg, part of the face, or the background that helps the composition of the entire photo. If you're really cutting like that, you really can be screwing yourself a little bit in the end. So it really just helps to take a step back. And honestly, the thing is, you can also help you see the surroundings. Maybe you'll notice something too, but taking that small step back gets you that nicer photo, especially when you're cropping it. You can change it, and especially like if you want to move it around, you can change something that you wouldn't even think about, like putting it into thirds if you have a little more room. Take the time, take a step back, and you'll have a better framing for your photo. My last tip is style and copying photographers. This can be a really touchy subject. It's hard with trends and everyone wants to jump on trends and do a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of people do this and sometimes it turned out really well. I know a lot of local photographers who go through trends and they take it and they do their own style to it, and it looks really nice and it looks unique. And there's a lot of people who I've seen who'll do the same trends as everyone else but not change anything or do anything interesting. And then you're basically just copying people. And there's a difference between emulating someone and copying someone. A lot of photographers I know start following Brandon Wolfel. I did. I did first handful of photos just like him, and they came out like this, which looked nice, but for the most part I was just copying what he did, and it didn't really bring anything new or interesting into the picture. That's just not really going to get you anywhere, because if people are going to notice it, a lot of the photographers are going to notice that kind of stuff, and you really don't want to be known as someone who just imitates other people. Another thing is, if you work with local photographers, I've had probably one of my bigger horror stories is I did a shoot with a model one time. I delivered her photos, and then 3 days later after I delivered her photos, I found out she picked up a camera and she did the exact location and the exact same poses with someone else and posted them. No credit. And that's just disrespectful. No one wants to see their work copied because they really take it away from someone else, and it's devaluing someone else's work, the time they put into it. It's not really flattering like you might think it is. It's just straight up stealing someone's work, and you don't really want to do that. You don't want to piss off your local photographers either. You don't want a bad name in your neighborhood because first off, I'm sure you're not going to be some huge internet photographer. You're going to be local. And you don't want to be sat down with people knowing that you just copy someone else's work. Just be unique, and like, it takes time to get your own style for sure, but make sure you're taking the time to put your own touch on everything that you're doing. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. This is my first video I'm posting on YouTube. If you liked everything you saw, you learned something, please like, subscribe. If there's something else that you think I'm wrong, or if you have anything to add, just throw it in the comments down below. It's where I learned a lot of stuff too, is honestly just looking through comments on videos that I've liked. Follow my socials, I'll have them posted down there. I'd really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.